So what technology do you need if you're going to create your own in-house online digital TV network? I've waited until this 5th video in the 10-part series to talk about this, in part because I frankly think it's one of the least important parts of this whole process. The irony, of course, being it's the one thing people seem to care about the most. People erroneously believe that it is a technology issue, and if only they had the right technology, they could create their own in-house TV network. I'm here to tell you the technology is relatively unimportant, it's relatively commoditized, and it is inexpensive. Everything you see here with my production is done for less than a couple $1,000s. It's very inexpensive. First thing people always ask me when I do seminars on this issue, what's the best camera? What's the best camera? That's like asking, what's the best email program to use when sending somebody an email? Well, if you're on your iPhone, that's one thing. If you're on your desktop, that's another. If you're on your iPad, it's another. It's whatever's closest and easiest. Now, if you're going to have a regular studio where you do most of your newscast, I do think it is good to have something that is set up and established and you're comfortable with it. Now, what I have here is a Logitech high-definition camera. It is less than $150. It's inexpensive. Certainly you could spend $800 and have a much higher quality camera. But for people watching simple talking head video online, this is going to be all the power you need 99% of the time. Certainly you can always spend more money. That's not what's going to make you succeed in the long run, in my view. Microphones, the main thing is you just don't want to use a built-in microphone on a laptop. What I have right over here is by the way, everything I'm talking about is listed in the description of this video with links on how to get it. And I'm not selling anything, folks. I'm simply providing you the information. So I have the blue Snowball next to me. I use that because I don't want to have to clip on a lav mic on and off 20 times each day because I'm making videos throughout the day. But if you're only doing a newscast one set time a day or twice a week, you may want to use a simple lav mic. You can get them at any Radio Shack. The backdrop. Now, I used to use a fabric backdrop, and I have information on where you can get that in the description. I find what's a lot easier and gives you more flexibility is just have a big TV screen. Now, this is about a 50-inch TV screen, and this is a video clip that I bought. I have the legal rights to use it off the internet, and it's a loop that goes about 30 seconds long. It cost me $50, and it looks like I'm in this gigantic newsroom. So you can put up a picture, you can have a video loop. The beauty of the TV is you can quickly put up any picture you want or any video loop, so you have more flexibility. The lighting is very important in order to look good. Now, I only have 2 lights on beyond the regular light in my small office in downtown Manhattan. And it's not necessarily important what type of lights you have, but you need one that's more or less in front of you and one that's sort of 30% off to the side. Here's the big trouble most people have for lights. They create a set where they're at their office desk and there's a window behind them. Well, now all the light is behind you. So your face is going to be all darkened out, and that's when you have that cheap look. So you need lights in front of you. You need more light in front of you than you do have behind you, and you'll look much better. Now again, because I'm putting my lights on numerous times a day, on and off, I just have a little switch on my desk. So when I finish, I just go, this is the normal lighting for my office, but this is too dark when you're looking at me here. But this is a perfectly well-lit room. But this is what happens if you just have overhead lighting. And then I've connected my 2 lights to one switch. I just lean over, and there I am. So the lighting, and they're on a couple of little tripods. Again, all the equipment is listed in the description. It's very inexpensive, but it really can make you look as good as, maybe not as Brian Williams or the Today Show crowd, but when people are looking at you on the internet, certainly on an iPhone, an iPad, a laptop, it's not going to look that much different to most people's eyes. Now, people who are professional TV people can see every little, oh, that shading is not quite right, you're off 1/8 of an inch centering, and they're right if they are going to be directors for The Tonight Show. But that's not what you're trying to do. If you are a publicist, head of corporate communications, your own subject matter expert, you simply need to get your ideas out in a compelling manner and realize there are different standards of production for video. In the same way, there are different standards of production for text. If you're writing a coffee table book that's meant for the ages, you might spend 2 years on it, editing all sorts of money on fancy graphics, artwork, packaging. You can spend a fortune on it. But you also may blog where you just type 3 sentences and one of them even has a spelling error. Each medium has its own standards and its own ways of being effective. When it comes to video, you have to realize you're not creating a movie. You're not creating 60 minutes. You're simply giving people information that's useful and helpful. Now, for those of you who are really on strict limited budgets, let me tell you the big things you've got to avoid. If you're using your laptop, that's okay. Put it on a stack of books so the camera is at your eye level. Because if it's down too low, a regular laptop, then it's kind of shooting up your nose and it's too close and it's unflattering. You need a little distance between yourself and your camera. The camera that I'm using now is just on my desktop, but it's about 3.5 feet away, so you don't have this sort of up my nose look. I'm not using the built-in microphone in my computer. I have a professional microphone. Again, it's inexpensive in relative terms, but the audio now sounds professional. And again, for just a couple $100 or less of lighting, the lighting can look professional. So those are the basics you really need, and some software for editing. Now, I've listed in the information below what I use, but there's plenty of good programs for editing your video. Just don't get carried away on editing. As you can see so far with what I've done, I'm not doing any editing other than a beginning and an ending. If you're Phil DeFranco and you have 10 billion people watching your YouTube videos and you're doing entertainment, you may edit every word or every 5 seconds. But that is a different beast. The entertainment world, trying to get huge numbers, is something completely different and not the subject of what this course is about. So keep in mind, you can always get a better camera, you can always get more lights, you can always get a better microphone, but the main thing is if people can see you clearly, hear you clearly, and you're not all shadowy, you already have what it takes to make a professional looking video newscast.